Hello. So we will start chapter 11. Okay. So it is about JavaFX for GUI-based application. Yeah. So chapter 11 is about how to create a GUI-based application. And we will discuss JavaFX general architecture and how to create a reactive JavaFX application. There are two parts, how to design the layout and then how to do the event handling, okay? And we will also discuss multi-scene, okay, multiple scene application, as well as multiple stage application. And also about working with data in JavaFX. Okay, so a brief background about JavaFX. So far, if you recall, all our applications, the output is on console. So it's a console application. It's just plain text, okay? And the user interaction is just through the keyboard. You type in something, okay? And in the real world, we use all sorts of application, but they are all GUI-based application. GUI-based means um, there are some layouts, okay, some design components, okay, and they allow user to interact with UI controls. Okay, UI is user interaction, user interface, okay, graphic user interface, GUI, okay, graphic user interface. So it's completely different from console, okay? And like no matter like internet, is it, or mobile app or desktop app, majority of them, they are GUI based. Okay, they have user interface controls like a button, like a text box, a video button, is it a list view? Okay, and some, and also graphic. You can also, and we can also listen to music, is it, and watch video, is all of those. They are GUI based, okay, and also allow user interaction. The user interaction is because GUI-based applications, they handle events, okay? When user perform action on those GUI, on those UI controls, okay? So how do we develop an application like that in Java, okay? So that's what JavaFX does. Okay. So JavaFX, it contains packages for graphic and media elements to create applications. For because for console application, basically, it's a command line application. We rarely use that. Yeah. And in Windows, you can initiate like a CMD, etc., and create the command line window, and then do command line. And like in Windows, we can view all of the folders using Windows Explorer, is it? But in command line, then the only way is if you want to see the folders and the files, then you need to some special command. Is it like dir, Is it, yeah, something like that. Okay, so that's the difference about a console application and the GUI application. Okay, then let's take a look more about the JavaFX, its architecture, okay, very general. And in this diagram, we can see um, it's a layered architecture. It's built on top of Java machine, virtual machine, and the Java API JDK. Okay, and the very top for JavaFX is we call it a scene graph. So what is scene graph? So it's include all application components. So basically those UI components, controllers, okay, UI controls, okay, like a button, text box, okay. And sometimes you want to group those individual single UI control together. Is it? Then we call it application container, okay. And we can also organize them as sets of parent-child relationship. Yeah, like here it says, like buttons are nested within the overall application container, okay. Something. So that's regarding scene graph. And the layer that below the scene graph is Java API, JavaFX API layer. Okay, what it does, it used to build the scene graph and program the application. Okay, and then so on top of Java API, the JDK, so those are all we call them engines, various engines. So Prisma mostly used for rendering, graphic rendering, okay, and the Glass engine mostly used for Windows creation, and media engine is to process audio and visual, okay, and the web engine is to support web page, okay, and all of these engines work with the Java API through this quantum toolkit. Okay, so this is Java FX's architecture. Okay, and then let's take a look at the simple reactive application. How do we create it? And one of the major things before we can make it interact is you need to design the layout design, okay, and then event handling. So there are two parts for the reactive application. Okay. For the layout design, it's designed in layers. Yeah, it's something like you do the paint on canvas. Okay, the idea, or we can think of it like a Broadway show. Okay, something like that. So the very bottom layer for the layout design is the stage. Okay, stage basically is the window, application window. Okay, application window, you have minimize, maximize, and close. Okay, the window. And just think about the Broadway show, is it for each stage, it has different thing, is it? And then within each thing, the furniture and the layout, some change, is it? Yeah, so similar concept here. Or like the canvas painting, it's the same thing. The layer on top of the stage is the same. So that's the thing. Okay, so what a scene contains, basically it's this part. Okay, the scene contains its all of the layouts and the containers. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like the play uh, scene that you group certain furnitures together. So that's part of like then the layout. You can have different group of layout. Okay, so then on top of scene, we put layout and or we call it a paint, just like a canvas painting. That you have nature, scenery, and then you have character, something like that. Yeah, group that. So the next, so in this diagram, we have two layout. Um, we have this layout, that, and we have another layout, or we call them container layout. And within each layout, then we have UI controls. So like a text box, like a button, like a graphic. Okay. Yeah, so this is about the layout design. Okay. And we are going to take a look at the example, then we will understand this better. And as we just said, if you recall, is that the basic unit is UI control, and we can group UI controls, is it, and put them on the layout, or we call them container or panel. Okay, so layout container class here to give us some pane, is it? Yeah, anchor pane, border pane, flow pane. We are going to see now the example about grid pane, stack pane, horizontal box, and vertical box. Okay. Yeah. And okay, so this is about the container that's going to group uh, a number of UI controls together, okay, and then put it on top of the scene. And then, yeah, so this is going to be our first um, GUI applications, okay, and this is used a grade pane, okay, and grade pane. So the idea is you have the layout. Okay, and then you kind of grade them, okay, so that they have column and row, okay, and column index and row index. Column row index, they count, like for this one, this is 0, 0, okay, so from top left at 0, okay, and this is 0, 1, so row 1, column, second column, row 1, and the third column, this is row 2 first column, row 2, second column, and row 2, the third column, okay, something like this. And in this case, for the first example, the grade pane is is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 rows and 2 columns. Okay, 2 columns. And for the first control, it's a text control, okay? And it uh, two, span 2 columns. Okay. And the second row also span two columns. It's list view. Okay. Span two columns. So this is 0, 0. Okay. And this is 1, 0. Okay. The index of the grade. And this is 2, 0. This is 2, 1. This is 2, 3, 0, and 3, 1. Okay. So these two rows we leave empty. So leave them blank. We don't put any controls. And the next one is a text field. Okay. Also span two columns. So this is 4, 0. Okay. And this is 5, 0, and 5, 1. Okay. Leave blank. And then we have two buttons. Okay, so this button is 6, 0. This is a 6, 1. Okay, and then blank. And the last one is text. So 6, this is 7. Oh, this is 8, 0. Okay, we have 8 rows. Okay, so for grade pane, we can see it's nice as you already divide the layout into grade, and then it's very organized. You can put the controls in the corresponding cell. Okay. Okay, so that's the first one. And the second example is about application with multiple things. Okay. In multiple things, there is only one window. Be careful, okay? The user can navigate to different things with corresponding user action. Okay. So here, initially, this is the initial window. Okay. So it has some text, some graphics, and the button. When you click the button, then it will switch to the next thing. So this is next thing. The second thing, it will switch to here, and here you have text and the shapes, okay, polygon here, and the button. And this button will bring it back to the first thing. So that's about this second example. Multiple thing. And so JavaFX also support navigate multiple stage. Okay, so multiple stages in one application can have multiple window. Okay, so just like when we use our application on Windows, is that we can have multiple windows opened. Is it? Yeah. And JavaFX, the multiple stage, for multiple stage, it represent, it can support modules and model, okay? And model can be applied to a stage to configure the window through this function call, okay? Initial modularity, and plug in the respective modularity. There are three types of modularity. One is called modularity now. Okay. For this one, then the stage will not block input to any other, because be careful, it's not the parallel one, it's a top level stage while it is shown. Okay. Modularity window module, then this will block the input to other top level. Okay. The other is the application module. Then this one, it will not allow, so it will block user input to any other stage of the application until this one is closed. Okay. And we will see that in our exam. So this just means if it is allow you to access multiple stages, okay, while still using one stage. Okay, and the last one is in JavaFX, you can also work with data. Okay, so JavaFX also support a menu bar. Okay, and then you can create the menu item and the menu. Okay. Okay, and so here's another national park, and it's pretty, okay, quite beautiful. And then here's another photo from this national park. So, mm, can you guess what the national park it is? Okay. Yeah, it is Banff National Park. Yeah, very beautiful in Canada. But okay, so that's all the concept part for chapter 11 about JavaFX. So in the next video, we are going to discuss the application. See you.